Right now on News 3, another student in the controversial Baraboo photograph coming forward tonight with what he says happened in this picture. Plus another bump in the long road for the Judge Doyle Square project, what City Council voted on tonight. And later, a local service member's beloved trumpet stolen on Veterans Day. His story straight ahead.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us. We are hearing from another student tonight, seen in the controversial prom photo taken in Baraboo last spring. It has drawn harsh criticism after many say it shows most of the group giving the Nazi salute. Tonight, Brock Turkington says it is being misinterpreted. He apologizes on behalf of everyone in that photo.
I think everybody should know that we're sorry. It wasn't supposed to be a hateful gesture at all. It was just mass confusion. Like, we were told to do one thing, and it was interpreted as another on social media just because of the comment that was placed with the post.
Now, he says the photographer asked them to make the waving motion. Baraboo caught in the national and even international spotlight yesterday when that photo first surfaced. It was attached to a Twitter comment that said, quote, "We even got the black kid to throw it up." And today, Baraboo Mayor Mike Palm says the photo does not represent his city. He says a grassroots movement has organized a community forum for Thursday at the Civic Center at 6:30 to come up with ways to educate and show that this is not Baraboo.
I don't think that it's top down. I think it's bottom up. And I will be open and receptive to people's ideas as to how we can better educate ourselves and be more tolerant of our neighbors.
Now, as for the photographer, we're also hearing from him. Peter Gust is echoing the same message as the student tonight, saying the photo was simply ill-timed and is being taken out of context.
I'd said to them, okay, boys, you're going to say goodbye to your parents, so wave. And I put my hand up. I said, now you're looking towards me, wave, say goodbye. And some of them were bringing their hands up. Some of them were had already brought their hand down. By the time I took the picture, there are all different stages of waving goodbye. So if you want to interpret that way, well, then I guess go ahead and interpret that way.
Because the country is interpreting it that way.
And it's wrong. The country is dead wrong.
A man whose family survived the Holocaust says he sees fewer people understanding the significance of those events. Ron Berger, professor emeritus at UW-Whitewater, has written a book about his father and uncle's survival of the Holocaust. He says he was surprised to see that photo and that it's not something to be taken lightly.
I would have to explain to them what that meant, and that it's not something that they should be making a joke about. And I would ask them why they even thought to do something like that.
Rather than disciplining the students, however, Berger says he would educate them on why they should not have done the pose in the first place. The FBI releases its hate crimes report for last year, and it shows a dramatic increase since 2016. Hate crimes went up more than 17% at that time frame, according to new statistics from the FBI. 80% of the victims were targeted because of their race, ethnicity, or their religion. More than 16,000 police agencies nationwide gave data to the FBI for this report. In Wisconsin, there were only 46 hate crimes for all of 2017. Religious bias, the largest motivating factor in those crimes, with religious hate crimes doubling between 2016 and 2017 in Wisconsin. The long and costly saga of the Judge Doyle Square development took another detour tonight. Following Madison City Council vote, Arkeely Arthur was there, and she joins us now with the details in the News Center. Arkeely?
The city voted against paying the project's developer $600,000 to settle a dispute, meaning the $186 million project is now laying dormant. The Judge Doyle Square development is nearly a decade in the making. The redevelopment is meant to bring a new hotel, apartments, retail and commercial space, along with a 1,000-space parking garage off the Capitol Square. But tension between the city and developer Beitler Real Estate has halted things. Tonight, the city voted against an agreement that would have paid Beitler $600,000 to own part of the project that Beitler originally intended to own but no longer wants. While Soglin says the relationship with Beitler is good, some council members disagree.
For the $600,000, we get to go down this path again, and it's a path that might very well lead us to yet more litigation for nothing in return.
I'm very optimistic. I am convinced he wants to do this project. I'm convinced it will work, and we'll get what we need, the hotel to service Monona Terrace.
In a 6-14 decision, council voted against giving Beitler $600,000. Now the city has to go back to Beitler and renegotiate in order for the project to move forward. And in the worst case scenario, Eric, negotiations don't go well. They might have to find a new contractor.
A story we will keep a close eye on. Keely Arthur in the News Center. Keely, thank you. Dane County officials have approved a conditional use permit for Tyrol Basin, allowing the ski venue to put in additional lighting for a new sledding hill. That plan had been criticized by some residents living nearby who feared light pollution. The owner of Tyrol Basin said the sledding hill is vital for the business's survival. And it's been cold enough to hit the slopes lately. Dave Caulfield joins us now with our first alert forecast. Dave?
Yeah, Eric, so cold today. Temperatures in the afternoon finished about 20 to 25 degrees below normal for this time of year. And the cold weather coming with us into tonight, downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Looking at clear skies down to 17 degrees with a northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. It feels like 10 outside in Mad City. 17 in Madison, 15 in Lone Rock, 13 in Boscobel, and 19, one of the warmer spots in Janesville and Monroe. But those wind speeds, not too bad for many of us. Still kicking at about 5 to 10 miles per hour for others. Feels like 2 lonely degrees in Wautoma, 9 in Camp Douglas, and 13 right now in the Dells. Temperatures and winds over the next 12 hours will reach lows right around 6 a.m. starting off Wednesday in the middle teens. Those winds should not be that bad. And we should be a little bit warmer tomorrow and on Thursday. We'll talk about that, plus a possible chance for some snowflakes Friday into Saturday in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Dave, thank you. Out west, the death toll in California's wildfires stands at 44, but officials fear that number could rise with many people missing. Officials say hundreds remain unaccounted for after the Camp Fire decimated the Northern California town of Paradise and the surrounding area. In Southern California, west of Los Angeles, firefighters are seeing progress bringing the Woolsey fire under control despite intermittent flare-ups. Newly public documents show a former radio station employee is a possible suspect in the WORT shooting this summer. The search warrant filed weeks after the shooting requested cell phone records for that former employee. It also says the SUV belonging to that suspect was seen on city traffic cameras near the station around the time of the shooting. Officers say a DJ and another person were injured around 3:15. This was on August 5th inside the station.
It was upsetting, and we're frustrated with how long it takes to solve these things sometimes, but the Madison Police Department is working diligently day after day after day. They've gone all over the neighborhood. They've looked at traffic cameras all over. They've looked at security cameras. They really have been thorough, and I really have to give them a lot of credit.
The warrant says the suspect had a prior conflict with the DJ who was shot. As of now, there are not any charges filed. A Sun Prairie man who plays trumpet for the military is asking for his instrument back after it was stolen on Veterans Day. Our Amy Reed sat down with him and his wife. She joins us now to tell us why this trumpet is so special to him, Amy.
Yeah, any musician knows the attachment that you get to an instrument you've played for a while, but this trumpet had really been everywhere with Staff Sergeant Matthew Miller. Now all he wants is for whoever stole it to give it back.
These were the dates that he was in.
Right.
Overseas.
The memories are right there.
Your plane tickets.
The entire journey of Staff Sergeant Matthew Miller.
This is his basic training where you got in trouble at graduation. You were so excited to graduate.
For smiling.
And ever present through the memories is the trusty Silver Getzen B-flat trumpet. It started as a gift from his parents in high school.
This trumpet that I had went through Army auditions, Armed Forces School of Music, University of Wisconsin.
After that, a tour in Iraq, the countless military funerals.
Words can't describe that. It's the highest honor to get something like that. Highest honor to even pay, to pay respect, to play taps for a fallen service member.
And the thank you notes that came with them.
Sorry we had to meet under the current conditions, but thank you for everything.
But now that same trumpet, there through everything, is gone. On Veterans Day weekend, while Miller was in Milwaukee for the Army, someone broke open his back window and stole it.
First item I noticed was my trumpet and its case and everything.
Perhaps not knowing the sentimental value they stole with it.
When it was gone, when I knew it was gone, it was like a piece. It was like a piece of me was left.
That's when wife Chelsea had an idea, a post on Facebook.
Wouldn't it be cool if we got to 500 shares?
Try something closer to 3,000, and not just shares, love, support, offers for replacements.
We just wanted to get his trumpet back and to see like the immense generosity and the immense kindness and the way that people have really kind of, rallied around him.
But even with the shares, the trumpet has not come back. Miller hopes that won't stay true for long. The Millers have filed a police report and they're keeping an eye on Craigslist and pawn shops, but they also said if the person who took the trumpet is watching this tonight, to please find it in your heart to do the right thing and give it back.
Yeah, irreplaceable, right?
Yeah.
A new one doesn't fill the same.
No, he has a backup, but if he can't get this one back, then it's...
Let's hope it turns out.
Yeah.
Amy Reed tonight. Amy, thank you. Well, the state's report card shows some improvement in local school districts, but absenteeism is a growing problem in Wisconsin. The State Department of Public Instruction released the latest report cards today. They measure performance of the schools in the state in more than 400 districts. In total, nearly 84% of schools met or exceeded expectations. That's up from about 82% in each of the previous 2 years. We took the time to look up the grade for several major school districts in our area to see how your child's school ranked. You can find it at channel3000.com. Union leaders are asking the Verona fire chief to step down after an investigation revealed serious allegations against him. The complaints came from more than 25 fire department staff members, citing things like mismanagement, lack of accountability, and a hostile work environment. The city of Verona hired a third party to review the complaints, and after releasing the report with a collective summary of concerns, the city sent out a press release saying these are, quote, solvable problems. It is hosting a multitude of training sessions to ensure a safe and positive work environment going forward. The mayor says the police chief there, Chief Giver, is fully cooperative with these plans. The state legislature's Joint Finance Committee has approved Governor-elect Tony Evers' transition budget. He's asked the state for just over $94,000. That's to cover some salaries, equipment, supplies, travel, and legal services. State law requires the Finance Committee to convene within a week of the election to approve that transition budget for any incoming governor. The panel unanimously approved the request this afternoon. The session lasted less than 1 minute. Also today, Assembly Democrats have picked Representative Gordon Hintz of Oshkosh to lead them again this session. Democrats first elected him as minority leader in 2017. The caucus reelected Hintz as leader during a meeting today. He was the only nominee. And still ahead tonight at 10, a first look at your Thanksgiving travel forecast. AAA expecting it to be a record breaker. And a major announcement goes public. Amazon choosing 2 cities to host its second headquarters. A closer look at this multi-billion-dollar investment when we come back. Welcome back. Amazon is splitting its planned second headquarters, dubbed HQ2, between New York's Long Island City and Northern Virginia's Crystal City. The company received more than 200 proposals for the new headquarters, including Madison. But in the end, it picked major metro areas where it could attract top tech talent. Long Island City is right across the river from Manhattan, and the Arlington location is close to Reagan National Airport outside D.C. The $5 billion investment will create 25,000 jobs at each location. We're getting an early look at what the TSA expects to be a record-breaking Thanksgiving travel season. AAA projects more than 54 million Americans will travel next week, the most since 2005. 4 million of them by air. TSA officials anticipate the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the Sunday after the holiday will be the busiest. Retailers are spreading a holiday message: buy now or see higher prices. In January, President Trump imposed 10% tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods in September. That'll take effect the first of the year, and this brings the total tax on some Chinese imports to 25%. Consumers are likely to bear most of that burden, with only some retailers absorbing those higher costs. One of the country's most popular e-cigarette companies says it is planning to pull some of its most popular flavors in an effort to minimize the appeal to teenagers. Juul Labs Incorporated says it has plans to end the sale of mango, cucumber, and fruit-flavored e-cigarettes and only sell tobacco, menthol, and mint-flavored devices. Juul and other e-cigarette companies have come under fire from the U.S. FDA as the rates of teenage usage have increased. The American Red Cross says it is facing a severe blood shortage, urgently in need of donors. The shortage partially due to fewer blood drives during September and October, and with the recent hurricanes, thousands of blood donations went uncollected. But we talked about the Thanksgiving travel holiday coming up. Dave Caulfield joins us. We've got some chilly weather, but we always hope we avoid a lot of precipitation, especially snow around Thanksgiving.
Right, and I think as we head into next week, temperatures will moderate once again, but we could be dealing with a little bit of precipitation. A little bit early right now, but that's the way that pattern is looking, and we could use some warmer temperatures because November has been quite the chilly month, and you don't need a calendar to necessarily realize that, because over the last couple of days we have been quite chilly. So far, our monthly temperature departure has been about 5.5 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. High temperatures today, and this is across the Midwest. You can see where that cold air is. 26 in Madison, 16 the high temperature in Wausau today, and even closer to St. Louis, we were only in the 20s, and Charleston, West Virginia in the 40s. So really a large portion of the country pretty chilly on this Tuesday. And Weather Track is showing a little bit of why we still need this high pressure system to get closer to us to help bring those southerly winds into town and get our temperatures closer to normal for this time of year. I really don't think we'll get anywhere near normal until we get to Thursday when those highs head into the 40s. But right now, we're kind of stuck in this cold air over us with really nowhere to go. And that means with the light winds outside that we're in for another cold night tonight. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, the Almanac, 26 the high today in Madison. That is 20 degrees even below where we should be for this time of year, which should be 46 degrees. Hopefully a little bit closer to that on Thursday. Temperatures right now are in the teens and single digits north and west of Madison, with the wind speed out of the north and west at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That wind pretty light, but still making it feel about 5 degrees colder than that thermometer might suggest. Here are your 3 forecast highlights for tomorrow. More sunshine and a little bit warmer outside. We're actually in the 40s by the middle of the week and staying pretty sunny. But then by the weekend, some of us could be dealing with a couple of snowflakes, and that storm system still taking shape. A little bit of discrepancy in our models exactly where those snowflakes will fall, so we'll watch that very closely. We're also watching another cool down just in time for the weekend. We're close to the freezing mark Saturday and Sunday, but into next week, as I was mentioning, those temperatures look a little bit closer to normal, so that we can definitely deal with just in time for Turkey Day. Tonight, not really near normal. We're actually quite cold and mostly clear with temperatures in the teens for tomorrow. Not warm by any means, but not as cold. We'll take that mostly sunny with those temperatures in the 30s. Future track showing things staying pretty quiet, not too many clouds. In fact, plenty of sunshine with high pressure controlling our weather pattern. We're in the 30s for tomorrow and into the 20s to start Thursday, so not as cold there either. And I think we'll hit 40 degrees in many spots on Thursday across southern Wisconsin, even into the mid-40s in some spots. Just depends on how much sunshine we see. Then as we head into this weekend, Friday into Saturday, a few snowflakes are possible. Again, we're still ironing out the details of where those snowflakes will fall. Into next week, temperatures starting off chilly with plenty of sunshine, then getting back into the mid-40s, closer to normal for this time of year. Right now, looks like the type of pattern that we're in just in time for Thanksgiving. Yes, we're going to be warmer, but also the type of pattern that can give us some quick rain events. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully those rain showers stay away.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Revenge, a dish best served cold from Brad Davison. Highlights from a huge road win tonight. That's next in sports.
Well, first road test of the season for the Badgers, coming with some street cred, but for the other team, Xavier has not lost a non-conference game at home since December 22nd, 2012. That is, until today. Demetric Trice off to a hot start, nailing a three there. He was a perfect 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. 22 points for him tonight. Later, Ethan Happ driving and the reverse and one. He led the team with 30 points and 13 rebounds. Badgers up by 2 at the half. Second now had to Khalil Iverson, and no one around him or else they would have gotten crushed. And then to finish it off, minute and change remaining. Brad Davison, the dagger, and then the JP Mercuria chomp. Mercuria actually hit a 3 at the Kohl Center last year and did that chomp, so Brad just returning the favor, obviously. Badgers win by 9, bringing the 41-game non-conference home streak to an end for Xavier. But for Greg Gard, it's not enough.
We can take care of the ball better down the stretch and do a better job of finishing possessions and guarding on the defensive end. So it's so early. We got so many things that have to get better, so many people that have to get better.
So 77-68 the final. The big three, Happ, Trice, and Davison, together scoring 71 of the 77 points. So all but 6 points scored by those three guys. Next up, Houston Baptist at the Kohl Center on Saturday night. Well, Thanksgiving next week, holiday season right around the corner, so that means bowl season is 2. Wisconsin is bowl eligible with a 6-4 record and 2 games left in the regular season. So here are the projections from the various sources so far for those of you that want to think ahead for your holiday plans. Quite a few votes for the Pinstripe Bowl, which would be on December 27th at Yankee Stadium, as well as the Gator Bowl on New Year's Eve in Jacksonville, Florida. The Red Box Bowl is at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, home of the San Francisco 49ers. That game would be on New Year's Eve. Meanwhile, Kentrell Bryce, Randall Cobb, Kevin King, and Nick Perry among the players that did not participate in practice at the Don Hudson Center today ahead of Thursday's game against the Seahawks. Those 4 players will not travel to Seattle with the team tomorrow. One practice left until Thursday Night Football, and while most of the players don't really enjoy the short week, they know that they just have to roll with it, for now at least.
It's tough for the older guys like myself. You know, Tuesday is a great rehab day and a personal day to get your body back, and you know, when you're most of the day practicing and walkthroughs and meetings and stuff. But you know, that's the way the NFL's done it, and they enjoy the Thursday games. You know, maybe something to talk about when the next CBA comes up.
And finally tonight, a historic night in basketball. Vivian Stringer won her 1,000th game as a college basketball head coach. Rutgers beat Central Connecticut 73-44 tonight. Now 480 of those wins were during her tenure at Rutgers. Stringer is also the first coach in NCAA history to lead 3 different women's programs to the Final Four. We'll be right back.
Figure it out.
And Dave's back. One final check of the forecast.
We are staying quite cold tonight with temperatures in the teens. We're already in the teens in many spots and even some single digits showing up north and west of Madison. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, so that's good news, helping temperatures along with those southerly winds get back into the mid-30s and above freezing. That's awesome. And we're even warmer as we head into Thursday.
All right, Dave, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10. Have a great night.